right now. Give me one sec. I'll pull up my documents. I put them into my Google Drive, so I figured that would be the easiest. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, let me go back here. Okay. So this is the sales tax liability report that I pulled. And I'm sorry, it's all green because as I was going through each of the counties, I wanted to make sure that I covered them because I had to kind of do them manually. However, it doesn't come up this way. So I basically sorted by dollar amount because I figured, okay, I typed in, like normally it'll come up without Riverside. So I had to go through and find out what was EMBA. So it was Riverside. And so I then went through and sorted by sales in this report. So I could kind of see, okay, these are each obviously the same county. But I think I'm going to just show you also what NetSuite looks like so that you can kind of see what I'm talking about, where this started.
Right. Okay.
Hello. So this is the report I would use to basically prepare the quarterly report. So this is kind of how it starts. Okay, so see, I'm assuming because of how these are up here, I had to look all of these up manually because they looked like they were old codes, because this is how the NetSuite used to report the codes. And then all of a sudden it kind of switched to these codes. And then some are in these codes.
Okay.
And then this code here is this is the base 6%. So then all of these are the different additional percentages that go on to every county, correct? So this is where I have to start. So I typically export this, try and figure out what each of these codes are, and then group them, and then go into the sales tax, basically the sales tax module. And then I have to enter in each county and the totals. The problem is if I enter in, let's just say like Riverside County, there's like different Riverside counties with different percentages on here. So like, see how this one's Riverside County 0.25, this one's 0.50, and this one's 1.01%. So like I have to go into each of these invoices to see, okay, what city are they in? Because then there might be a different city that I have to find. So like Los Angeles County, this one's Santa Monica. So it's not like I can just drop it into Los Angeles County. You notice there's like different Los Angeles counties. I have to go into the invoice to find out, okay, this much was actually Santa Monica.
Yeah.
So what the previous gentleman had done, thinking he was helping, was was create another report that had the cities on it. So that's why I thought, I'm going to see if it'll come up. I thought, okay, this would help. But when I went into it, it was clearly not correct, because you'll see. And I'm just kind of trying to show you what I'm working with, so you can, you can go from
back into it. Yeah. Figure it out.
So I thought for sure this report, I thought, okay, great. This is going to tell me the cities and the codes. I don't know why it's taking so long. However, the sales tax was coming up like 50% of what the sales was.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So I was like, well, this
yeah, that's not good.
pulling correctly, but I don't know why.
No, yeah. Might be just how the information's being sourced.
Come on. Let me go back here. In the meantime, let me show you so this is kind of the report that I used last quarter. Kind of the same idea, but I was coming up with the different percentages, trying to find a rhyme or reason, and it's just not, like, none of this matches up with what is in Sales and is what is in NetSuite. I mean, I'm doing the best I can with the percentages, but like these transactions here, they're different counties, and there's no ship to addresses. So I'm pretty sure it was pulling the wrong percentage.
The wrong, yeah. Yeah, okay. Usually if there's not a ship to, it'll default to like a base rate.
Right.
Yeah. See,
like if you see here, like tax collected 96,000, tax due 39,000 on 65, 66, you know, on 66,000.
Yeah. Wow.
That was no help.
No, that's clearly wrong.
I mean, I guess I could look at the codes and go, oh, okay, this is Kavina, you know, but
yeah. It doesn't quite help if it's not, you know, giving you all the information that you need.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Shawna, why are there so many lines? Oh, that's tax collected for California, 96,000.
I guess, but what's weird is it can't be on $531.
But it's that same number keeps repeating itself.
Yeah. I guess that could be the tax collected for the whole quarter, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
But that's why when I pulled this report up, I thought, well, this is not helpful.
No.
Because it has taxable sales and total sales. So I guess I could have used this part of it.
Use everything but the California one.
Yeah, but then try not to, you know, yeah. So I kind of just went, okay, because, yeah. There wasn't any reason to continue with this one because I thought, well, this isn't going to be
so
helpful.
Go to, where is Riverside on here? Oh, huh.
So I bet you, I wonder if it's in a lot of different locations. Here's another one. Another one.
And they're both the same value. Do you see that too?
Yeah.
Or all of them are?
Yeah, so the counties are the same, and then the counties in the state are always the same, and then the cities are broken out.
Which is just as confusing because then I have to still go and figure out, okay,
what do those codes even mean?
Yeah, I guess I could figure out, you know, I could type out Costa Mesa on, you know, when I go into here to see if it's a special, you know, because some of them have special, some of them have special rates, like Long Beach.
Districts and
Yeah.
just different district taxation.
Right. Like here's this Long Beach. Now this code, this coming quarter is going to be obviously expired because this report was through December 31st. So now there'll be a new code, I guess. So I'd have to,
So
anyway.
I guess my first question is, everybody on NetSuite's got to be paying sales tax. How are they doing it?
Yeah, that's my question is we have to get our NetSuite sales tax process up to speed.
Right. So pretty much everybody is customized, right? But nobody's going to really use like the base out of the box reports. They're a good foundation, a good place to start. But then most everybody wants customizations. And so it just depends where you are kind of in the process of your reporting and how you're reporting and that. So, I mean, this is really a good place to start understanding, kind of what your frustrations are and the work that you're having to do to get the report right manually. So, I can definitely take a look at this and see what we can do to maybe take a look at your settings, see why things are not being inactivated, and look at the reporting so that you get more accurate reporting. So
like to me, I would imagine that if we're gonna be logging in to get sales tax, like if NetSuite's logging in to get updates, right? Then to me, this code, like this one in particular, is expiring 12/31. So in NetSuite, shouldn't that inactivate and the new one activate?
Yeah, the new one should activate as of 1/1, right? If there is a new one, and yes, it should inactivate.
Now, here's my other question is, let's say a sales order was entered in December for Long Beach at that expired rate, and it doesn't get billed until January or February. So it was calculated at the rate that expired December 31st. When the sale actually happened, and we would be collecting the sales tax in the first quarter of 2023, would NetSuite automatically update that, or how does that work? Because I feel like it's not happening.
Yeah, so it should, when you create the invoice off of the sales order, it should pull the corrected rates.
Okay.
Yeah, because it'll go out, reach out to the tax engine again and do that recalculation.
Okay.
So I don't imagine tax reporting for companies is all that different. It shouldn't be. I don't understand why it would be so customized. I mean,
so a lot of people will use do things outside of NetSuite.
Okay.
It really just depends on what your preference in tax reporting is.
Well, our preference is just to get it right.
Yeah. Oh, well, yes, of course. So, I mean, I've seen it from anywhere from just doing it outside of NetSuite, where they're just collecting like the flat rate, and submitting their reports outside of NetSuite to very intricate, and doing it that way. So, yeah, let me take a look at your setup and see what I can figure out. And then I can be in touch with you, Shawna, on any of the other things that you're going through. Unless there's anything else that you have that you can show me.
Do you want me to share this this folder with you so you can kind of see?
Yes, that would be amazing.
I can actually share this one, and I would share the third quarter, because the third quarter I pulled as well, and then you can kind of compare and see that how it was entered into here, because some of these completely match up, some don't come out with the same amount as it has in NetSuite, like when I plug it into the, so then that's why other places I'm like, oh shoot, like we collected, you know, this amount per NetSuite, but it's showing this amount on the, that's why I'm saying I don't think the codes are correct, or that they're not, there's some inactive ones in there that keep getting used.
And that some of the rates might be wrong or something,
Right.
right? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so then there is a variance between what you're actually submitting and what NetSuite is saying then?
Right, what we're collecting and what's due, yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
So I can do that,
great.
and then if you're able to look at our settings, look at the reports that we have, see if we're using outdated. I mean, I don't know any other reports. Those are the ones, you know, that I've been using all along. If there's other sales tax reports, perfect. You know, that,
or maybe we need to have a custom one written. I don't know. We just gotta, we gotta get to the point, or export it and get it into Excel and do it there. But at the end of the day, the problem is we've been audited twice, and each time we've been audited, we owed a lot of money because the data that the state sees that we owed doesn't match what we actually paid for whatever reason, even though we thought we were doing it right. So we need to get to a point where if we get audited again, it's going to be right.
That's going to be clean. Yes.
It has to be clean.
Understandable. Yes. How much has it been off by before?
The last one was $450,000.
Wow.
Over a 3-year period.
Okay.
Well, actually, I take that back. It's it was I think it was actually off by 250, but then they assessed us all kinds of penalties and stuff.
Yeah.
The bill was
Dang.
like 450,000.
the tax part of it was,
The tax part of it was like 200 and something.
Oh. Yeah, and so what period of time are you looking at going back to correct the historical information?
I don't know. I mean, I guess the first step is getting it right going forward. If we went back, I'd probably go back. I mean, I would go back at probably to the end of the last audit, maybe. I don't know. Or, I mean, I'd almost like to go back to the beginning of the last audit and see where we really wrong. Because I don't even know if we
that's
pay incorrectly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That might be worth doing.
We honestly don't know. We honestly don't know if we underpaid or there was just a mistake in how they calculated it.
Yeah, because it could be that, I mean, we're giving them the same reports that we're using to, right? So then if they're pulling like our general ledger, and let's say like on one of these, I'm reporting that we collected only 6%, when really it was like 7.25%. If NetSuite's not inactivating those codes and I'm using what's in NetSuite, then I can, see that of course we were, 1.25% off or whatever, you know what I mean? But if I'm using the data that's in Net anyway, if I'm showing.
I think the other problem we had is Shawna was instructed by our accountant to pay based on what was on our liability on our balance sheet. And so, which in theory, what's on the balance sheet for what we owe should be the same as that's on these reports. But for some reason, those numbers presumably were wrong because she paid off the balance sheet and then we ended up being, $200,000 short. So I guess that's the other thing we want to understand is what's reflected on our balance sheet correct?
Right. Yeah.
How did it come out this quarter, Shawna?
Not correct. That's what I wanted. I need to talk to you about I need to talk to you about before I make any adjustments, is that also another part of this is they had put us on a payment plan. Well, they had put us on an automatic payment is what I was told. but technically that automatic payment of like 14,500, whatever it was actually going towards the past liability, the sales tax audit liability, as opposed to current. So I was entering, okay, this is an automatic payment, this is an automatic payment, and I was reducing the amount that we owed per the balance sheet for that whole time. So now we haven't gone back and said, okay, all those $14,000 payments we need to pull out and true up. So now, like, our balance sheet showed that we owed 33,000 at the end of the quarter, but we really owed 40, whatever it was, 48,000, 46,000. So there still needs to be another adjustment because of some type of payment that didn't get adjusted when we pulled that liability out of our regular sales tax and put it into past sales tax liability.
Well, it sounds like maybe we were off by one payment.
Yeah, so I need to go and make that adjustment, but that's all I'm saying is that that's also going to affect what our balance sheet shows because,
Yeah.
you know, anyway, if they weren't pulled out, like all of them correctly, but anyway. And then the other thing that I mean, has been in our system all along is, let me see, is which I have no idea what it is, and I know that we've talked about it before, is like a miscellaneous vendor. So here's miscellaneous vendor. No idea what that is. That's been there for, I tried to go back to 2010, I think, and there was no data.
So
I
what
don't even
is
know why it would go into miscellaneous vendor.
do you have any idea
And
what-
when you click on the 126, can you get to the detail?
Yeah, that's what I like I said, I went back to like 2010 to see like if I could get detail. I think it was 2010 that I went back to, and still nothing, because we had discussed this with Lapato way back, and it's been on the report for, I mean,
What if you go back to you went back to 2006, doesn't show up?
yeah, I'm going to, I feel like I went to 2010 the other day. Yeah, still nothing.
That's weird.
So I don't know what it is. Nobody has ever been able to figure out what it is.
Okay.
But what's funny is, okay, so if it, not funny, but what's interesting is that if it says tax due 202, then why wouldn't our balance sheet say our tax due is 202?
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Yeah.
So I don't, anyway, I just figured I would show you everything that I'm looking at every quarter. I just kind of, all right, I'm just going to go to the detail of the actual California State Board of Equalization and go from there.
Yeah. Yeah, I can dig into this and try and figure it out. Yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna have questions and whatnot, so.
Yeah, that's fine. I figured, and I know that our initially when we met with the gentleman prior, the one that wasn't able to finish it, we had said we wanted him to go back, but that's why I was saying, Steve, I really feel like getting it right. Like after doing this second quarter correctly per NetSuite, I'm still seeing that we're not doing it correctly. I mean, look, we paid in what it said that we collected for that quarter. So, you know, and I pretty much got all the counties straight. I think just probably the California one is off, but I think that's also how I'm entering our prepayment. So I think that our prepayments need to be entered just like a regular sales tax report, I guess. I don't know. Or I need to, I don't know. That's another question.
Okay.
So I would say start here where we need to get our
Mhm.
reports correct so that I know, okay, 631,000 was this county, this amount was collected, this amount is due, and I can just take that and go right straight to the sales tax report in CDTFA and enter it correctly, and it matches.
Right, right. Yeah, that's what I would expect too. So yeah, let me take some time to dig into here. Do you guys have like a timeline that you want to have this done by? I mean, I'm assuming it's as soon as possible.
Yeah, for me, my next sales tax report is due at the end of April for the first quarter. I mean,
Okay.
I would, we're gonna have to, I'm gonna have to make payments prior to that. I need to make the monthly payments during the month.
Mhm.
But, and it would be nice, I guess, once you are able to figure out the reporting, I could go back and do the last 2 quarters that I did exactly per there, just to see the differences. That might be a
Okay.
well,
Yeah, that'd be a good place to start too, to look at those.
because the 3rd quarter and 4th
Okay.
quarter I did by detail by each of the codes, each of the counties. I tried,
Mhm.
to match up as best as possible.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea.
And then that way we can
Okay.
kind of see once we have all the correct data and codes inactivated and however going forward, if I'm able to go back and just recreate it and actually redo the sales tax report just off to the side just to see, I think that would be helpful.
I think you're right. Good deal. Okay. Well, yeah, I think I have what I need. And I do have access to your account now, so I can get in and dig
I'll
around.
share those. Is it okay to share the Google Drive folders, or
Yes, yeah, that's totally fine.
to you when we're off?
Okay, sounds great.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Thank you,
Bye.
Jenny.
You're welcome.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.